Hello and welcome to I've Seen Everything, where the name is ironic and the reactions are, thank you, Doctor. Here we are, still pushing through, trying to catch up. I don't know how long it's been for you since I posted the first episode, but this is being shot immediately after that. I literally just recorded the wrap-up for that episode, and I'm right into episode 2, which is for some reason listed as episode 3 on Disney+, and it is not. They have The Church on Ruby Road listed as the first episode. That's the Christmas special, guys. So they'll figure it out eventually. But this is for episode 2 of season 1, The Devil's Chord. I do not know anything about this episode, but I know that it involves the 60s, it involves music, it involves apparently the Beatles, it involves a drag queen from Drag Race, apparently named Jinkx Monsoon, which I don't really know much about. I just haven't made it around to watching Drag Race for whatever reason. I have family members who watch it and tell me about it. But I'm looking forward to this. I'm presuming Jinkx Monsoon plays whoever the villain is in this episode. But yeah, that's it. I mean, we got a thumbnail here with the Doctor and Ruby in some very stylish 60s clothes. The Doctor having a little bit of an afro. Not really an afro, but just a little more volume than we're used to seeing him have. But we have seen the Doctor do period pieces before. I do not know if we've seen the Doctor go back to the 60s, which is actually an interesting position to be in, considering the Doctor Who began in the 60s. So I guess technically we have seen the Doctor go back to the 60s if we ever went back to modern day. I digress. None of this is important to this episode. Devil's Chord, episode 2, season 1, Doctor Who. I'm excited. Here we go. But before we go, real fast, please do me a favor. It would mean so much to me. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe buttons down there. Hit the bell so you'll get notification when I put out new videos. I'm looking forward to catching up with Doctor Who here and then hopefully trying to put out the new episodes when they come out. I'm also going to be doing a lot more on this channel. Movie reactions, TV reactions, a lot of plans, a lot of fun things that I'm looking forward to doing. I really hope you'll come along with me. So now, on to episode 2 from season 1, the new season 1, Doctor Who, Devil's Chord. Here we go. BBC on Disney Plus. 2. I really expected that to be in the 60s.
And we have a tune.
Okay.
Then we have a melody.
A note, a tune, a melody.
Beethoven wrote this when he first discovered he was going deaf.
3 blind mice to Beethoven. Shows you how little I know about Beethoven. I didn't know that he wrote it when he started to go deaf. I thought he was already deaf.
There's one thing you might like. It's called The Devil's Chord.
Tell me more, sir.
There's a chord that summons the devil. Should have paid attention to music class.
Oh, goodness me.
The devil, clearly. Devil's in the piano.
Is someone playing a game?
As the devil always is. I think we all realize. That's quite an entrance.
My notation is maestro. I am music.
Don't have a lot to say. I'm just trying to...
You're a genius.
Don't be ridiculous.
This is great character design.
Clever enough to find the lost chord, but it's so sad.
Timothy wanted to be a famous musician.
All those songs you never sang, they sit there still, wrapped around your heart.
Think that I'm reaching for something other than his heart?
Would you like me to set them free?
I would love that, yes.
Music!
I don't know how he doesn't realize that he's potentially entering into a deal with the devil. He already called it the Devil's Chord. Who does he think he summons? This is the one thing I do wonder.
Now.
With a name like Maestro, is this the new version of the Master for this incarnation of the Doctor? A little bit of a different musical intro there. Flying on through with the TARDIS. It is a good intro. And this ties pretty nicely into the jukebox theme.
I want to see the Beatles recording their very first album.
Okay, so it was a direct request that they go there.
What you asked?
All of time and space, and she wants to go back a few decades in her own planet.
Amazing!
Oh, right, seriously!
People always say the Titanic! Or
That'd be messed up, Titanic. You're gonna go and visit and watch all those people doomed? I guess maybe before they hit the iceberg, but that'd be kind of like Pompeii when they did that one.
If we're in the 60s, what about my clothes?
Good thinking.
They're just so much fun together. That was a quick change. So where did he get the hair? Is that a wig? Keeps wigs in the TARDIS? Yeah, there's a style going on here that hasn't been present with the Doctor before, I don't know. Or I don't think, necessarily.
1963?
Oh, no way! It's like the album cover!
Nobody knows what they're doing because the Beatles are just about to record their first album.
Abbey Road Studios! Not called Abbey Road yet. EMI Recording Studios.
Janet said we could take over, so you can have 10 minutes off. There's always a Janet.
She didn't, or he didn't even have to use the psychic paper.
Cup of tea?
Yeah, make it a strong one, 2 sugars. Boys, do you want anything?
Keep playing like that, we'll all have a good kid.
How often does Doctor Who go back to actual, like, near historical events?
When you're getting paid, £7 a day.
There's this, and then there was Rosa Parks, and then I think Eccleston went back to when Charles Dickens was, like, before he wrote Christmas Carol. Oh, so the story is the Beatles couldn't sing. Yeah, interesting.
I love you, you love me,
They're like singing nursery rhymes.
because you love me.
Who's writing these songs? I'm playing Three Blind Mice.
Look at them. No one hums, no one whistles.
Okay. So the maestro stole the music back in the 20s.
The music is the highest form of thought. If you take that away...
Yeah, so it's thrown off time. Maybe that teacher was supposed to inspire people that inspired them, and the world has changed as a result.
Excuse me, hold on, Paul. Could I just have a word?
That is Paul McCartney.
But waltzes used to exist. When did they start becoming wrong?
20s, 30s.
Why? What happened?
We started seeing sense.
Doctor has to go back and save the music.
It's embarrassing, singing. Just want to finish the album, get back to Liverpool, and forget it.
Paul and John don't want to create music.
There must be better songs. Songs that lift you and devastate you and make you soar.
How'd you know that?
It's a nice idea for an episode. Teach about the beauty of art.
I just want to go home. Forget this life. That's all I want. And why do I wake up crying?
What would happen if all the great artists of the world lost their inspiration, lost their passion to create?
Single note, and then a second, and a third, and fourth, and fifth, and it feels like the most holy thing on this earth.
Yep. So he does love music, but he just can't reach his inspiration for some reason.
Oh my.
Okay, what did that do? Does the Doctor know the maestro? Is it the master?
Don't waste me time.
Do you know what you are with your ideas, pal? You are disgusting.
So every time they start to reach for it again, start to reach for their artistic inspiration, something pushes back. The maestro pushes back.
What the hell was that?
I want that installed on the rooftop like it is precious china.
I don't know why he's putting it up there, but they're totally dropping that.
I live over there.
What do you mean?
1963, I parked the TARDIS in a junkyard, and I lived there with my granddaughter Susan.
Oh, mention Susan.
We could go and have a look, but you know, timelines.
For fans of classic, if there's anyone watching, did we ever find out how the Doctor came about being Susan's grandfather?
Time Lords were murdered. Maybe it killed her too.
Doctor.
He seems awful lighthearted about that idea.
There we go, Doc.
Hey, Millie!
Yeah, they got it up there.
I'll have you whistling by sundown.
Can't bear whistling, Doc. All those horrible tunes. No thanks.
Did they make music painful?
It's all yours, honey.
I'm not that good. I can't believe you there.
Ah.
Yeah, just can't snake out of this one.
At this moment in time, you are the only music in the world. Let's see what happens if you bring music back.
No pressure.
You're not even warmed up. Didn't we hear that in the Christmas special? Sounds awfully familiar. It's beautiful. Well, nothing's happening to Ruby yet, but I'm assuming the maestro's going to show up. See, these people do love it when they hear it. So there's something in the way of, like, pushes back on them when they try to create music. But Ruby's immune to it for some reason because they're not from this time, or maybe they're protected by the TARDIS. I really wish I could play more of this. It's really beautiful. I'll have to, I think I saw this released on Spotify or something. I'll have to pull this up. Oh, there we go.
That was the giggle.
The giggle. I remember the giggle from the specials.
I can't fight this thing.
How was that the giggle? Or maybe that means the actual giggle, the sound was the same that they heard in that episode.
And who are you?
The Doctor.
I heard music, and music is mine!
So a malevolent being who wants to keep all the music for themselves. No sound. That's an interesting way to fight back. I'm really not sure where we're headed, but I am very interested to see. I'm trying to talk as much as I can so I can show... Oh, there we go. So I can show as much as possible. But...
Sound and vision.
Maestro was able to break through whatever the Doctor's little sonic screwdriver trick was. Oh. The old lady got Claire de Lune.
Music.
Old lady got courage. So is this what's been happening? Is that people don't hate music so much as they're afraid? The Maestro shows up whenever people play music. Yeah, I feel like they're gonna have to go back to the 20s to fix this.
There are vast powers beyond the universe. When we first met, I said the toy maker.
And
defeating him took everything.
We're getting new lore.
But you survived.
It tore my soul in half. I can't.
So we're giving a reason why the bigeneration happened. And like the whole thing before when he talked about his name being the Doctor and he was rattling off all the other names, maybe I wasn't paying enough attention. I didn't know those.
But you made that silence with the sonic. That worked, didn't it?
Yeah, one trick. Once. That's all you get with the gods.
Okay, so what do we do?
I don't know.
Well, you always know.
I don't.
These giant malevolent powers trying to destroy the universe, trying to destroy all space and time.
The last time I got lucky, this thing is stealing music.
The power of these creatures is so vast. The whole world could slide into the pit.
It's worse than summoning the devil, so to speak. The Doctor's met the devil.
I've got news for you. The world did not end in 1963.
Not yet, it didn't.
No, but it didn't. Okay, I'm living proof. I was born in 2004, and all my life I've had Beyonce and some Fender. Don't you see, Doctor? Music exists.
Why does the Maestro want to destroy music?
So when is it for you back home? What, June 2024?
It's hard to keep track, but yeah, I think so.
He's going to show what it's like without it.
What, have we done it? Are we back?
2024 brought you home.
This is the lowest we've seen him yet. I mean, it's only the second episode, but for him to already hit an obstacle that he doesn't know how to overcome. Amazing to think what could happen to the world without something like music. I mean, I know this is just one artistic representation of it, but you take out something as vital as artistic expression.
But this isn't real. It's just like a parallel universe.
This is your time. This is your home if Maestro isn't stopped.
Have they showed us potential futures before? If a disaster isn't averted? I don't remember.
I think without music, the human race goes sour.
How am I still alive? Why don't I fade away?
Because of me.
That's beautiful sentiment. I would like a little more elaboration when you get a chance, but...
Trapped my father and bound him in salt.
Child of the toy maker.
I should thank you, Doctor.
So a whole legion of malevolent gods, essentially.
Music is on. How is our win?
Not gone! The sound of a nuclear winter. The purest music of all.
So the maestro just wants music because they're selfish?
And every song that goes unsung feeds me until I can reach out and steal the music of the spheres.
So it's just a parasite.
How did you enter this world?
Oh, that would be telling, babe.
No! Your father established the rules of fair play, so I have a right to know.
So I feel like the maestro was the one who picked up the tooth.
A genius who found the lost chord.
Which means a different combination of notes would banish you.
I said genius.
The maestro picked up the tooth, but the maestro's not the master.
Anything that plays a tune is mine.
Better get in the TARDIS, quick.
What is it? What's happening?
Maestro! Controlling the TARDIS!
Get out of there, wherever the hell there is.
The only thing I can do is take us back to 1963!
You need to go back to 1925.
Strange.
Did you break it?
No, that's something else.
Hariyama!
I don't get that reference either, so unless it's a classic thing, or something else I've forgotten, we're creating new lore here, as far as what the TARDIS does, and different things like that.
If we can record the right tune on the sonic, we can use this as a weapon.
We need to find the notes of banishment!
Okay, but don't need to be a musical genius.
Sometimes genius is just hard work.
Yeah?
Can the Doctor... Well, Capaldi played the guitar.
Can you hear that?
That music.
I thought that was non-diegetic.
We thought it was non-diegetic. Funny meta joke. You gotta give him credit. These episodes so far have been different than anything I've seen on this show, I think.
Can't trick me twice, honey.
Invite me!
But she's the only human left with music in her heart.
And Jinkx Monsoon is eating up this episode.
Love sick songs for heartbroken lesbians makes me hungry. Sing!
What are we coming up with here, guys?
Maestro, I am asking you, just...
That's wrong.
That sounds familiar.
There's a hidden song deep inside our soul.
Oh, that's Carol of Bells. For a second, I thought it sounded like some Doctor Who music from a previous season.
This
Christmas. Music that was playing the night that she was born.
So this is one of the moments we see that Ruby is someone special.
How could a song have so much power? Power like him, the oldest one? He can't have been there.
Yeah, it's all tied together somehow.
Enough.
What was it?
It's okay.
We don't know if it's okay.
This creature is very wrong.
And this, very right. This is the famous Abbey Road piano. They call it the Mrs. Mills piano.
The Doctor's educating all of us right now.
So I know that this piano is rattling with all the potential to send you back to hell.
We're still going with hell? Seems like we're out of religious mythology at this point.
Music battle.
Time for a little Devil Went Down to Georgia. Using music as a weapon. Don't seem to be doing much fighting yet, or it doesn't seem to be hurting the maestro. He played the piano behind their backs. It's a skill you don't see very often. Played right through a violin. Crazy. Oh, was he doing that all to find the one note?
Go on then. Can you find it? Are you enough of a genius?
Oh, I would never call myself that, Maestro. But I have lived, and I have loved. And I can only smile like this because I have lost so much.
Mm-hmm. Doctor is technically billions of years old. thanks to Capaldi.
And if that's where music comes from, I can find the chord to banish you.
But he has to banish the maestro from all of time and space, because if he still had this issue from the 20s to the 60s, then it would still drastically change time. It's gonna be wrong.
One more.
Maybe not.
No!
There's another piano back there.
Ruby, get the piano!
Oh, the notes are hanging over it. I think that's that guy that was standing in the window. Oh no, it's John.
Well, you can't do that. We need you.
I don't know what I was saying about going back to historical times. They went back to Van Gogh with Matt Smith. He's gonna find it.
And fifth.
Quite a way to trap a person. There they go. One who waits. So, foreshadowing another significant malevolent force. Okay, so does this fix it? Does this release all the music that they stole?
Here it comes. Everywhere! Music!
The whole city, the whole world.
Yes.
They better go back to the 20s, though.
With all my adventures throughout time and space, there's always a twist at the end.
We got a fourth wall-breaking Doctor. You mentioned diegetic music. He winked at the camera, and now he's doing a musical number about how there's going to be a twist at the end of the episode. Very different tone for the Doctor this season. Very much more musical. Is this musical number the twist? Because sometimes they end on a musical number when they don't know how to end. Apparently that's a Beatles song now. They are not going halfway with this musical number. They are all in on this. Oh, we got the rain and the umbrellas. Gonna be doing Singing in the Rain in a minute. And then it's just gone. Oh, Harbinger. I still think he has to go back to the 20s. There's still like a 40-year period where the maestro had still screwed everything up. I know this was a musical episode, but this is not an ending I expected. Well, that was certainly a unique Doctor Who episode. I don't think I've ever seen one like that, but let's go into the wrap-up. Well, like I said, that was certainly a different episode of Doctor Who. I do not think I've ever seen one like that in all of New Who, as far as musical number or anything like that. Please let me know if you remember something I'm not remembering. And again, maybe there's something in Classic that they did something like this, but they did the musical number in the Christmas special, and as far as I remember hearing from people who are more familiar with Doctor Who than I am, that was even a departure as far as a type of element of a Doctor Who episode that people hadn't seen before. But yeah, what's the deal with the maestro? Is the maestro gone? Like I was saying during the episode, I think now that means that the maestro was the one who grabbed the tooth that the toy maker had after the toy maker lost. Toy maker specifically mentioned that he had trapped the master in a gold tooth. Anybody watching this video obviously knows the master is basically, they always use the Holmes Moriarty comparison. Every time you get a really compelling hero, they want to create an anti-version of that hero as a regular villain. And the master is, of course, that for the Doctor. But the master and the maestro are such close names, I'm still kind of confused about where we are. So we saw a hand it looked like it probably, now that we've seen the maestro, it looked like it probably belonged to the maestro, pick up the tooth. Does that mean that the maestro is somehow in possession of the master? Or is there some way possibly that the maestro is the master? And also, is the maestro gone? Are any of these people actually gone? Are any of these malevolent gods actually gone? The toy maker was just folded up and put in a box, and Unit has him somewhere. The maestro was supposedly defeated, but was just dragged back into the piano, presumably imprisoned once again. But at the end, obviously, we saw the Harbinger, the little boy that preceded the maestro back in the 20s. And also there's that. Even with them fixing things in the 60s, there's a 40-year period almost between, I think it was 25 that they went back to, and where they were in the 60s. Like, I think they said 1963. What about that whole time period where music didn't exist and what it did to the world? This is Doctor Who. It could just be like, well, that's just fixed. It's fixed throughout all space and time or whatever. I mean, Doctor Who is known for just throwing a whatever explanation at something, usually. Or like, they've done it, but not all the time. I do wonder if we'll revisit that. I do wonder if we'll see all these characters come together at the end, because none of them are technically gone or dead. They're all, or at least the two we've seen so far, are imprisoned, and there's still another one coming. Even if you go back to the Meet, at the first special with David Tennant, or David Tennant was back, the Star Beast, the Meet referenced the boss, and the boss, I think, was supposed to be the toy maker in the giggle. And they mentioned the giggle here. So was the giggle the actual sound from that special, the maestro's voice? Is that what the Doctor recognized? Is that what freaked the Doctor out? Who knows? We'll find all that out, I'm sure. I know that there's a lot of you who probably already know that because you've been keeping up with the show, and I'm only back here on episode 2. But we're pushing through, seeing how far we can get. But I enjoyed it a lot. It was another good episode, great episode. I mean, to be honest, if I'm comparing the 2 episodes so far, I would say the Space Babies episode might have been a little stronger than that. Well, I don't know, actually, because that's the thing. There were certain elements that dragged in both episodes a little, but then there were certain elements that were very strong. And both managed to very much, at least for me, feel like Doctor Who episodes, but both also managed to do it in a very unique way. I still think that Ncuti Gatwa is doing an amazing job. I still think that Millie Gibson's doing an amazing job. I think they're great together. I guess what I am waiting for, and I think this is what a lot of people wait for, I think this is one of the issues they had the entire first season of Jodie Whittaker's run. A lot of people give Jodie Whittaker garbage. I think that she was great casting for the Doctor. I think there were some writing issues, especially early on, and she can't help what she's given. But she had some really good episodes. But the first season of her run, they basically stayed completely away from Doctor Who lore. They were going for a different feel to the show, and I would say they probably gave her too many companions to start, and they didn't do any episode in that entire first season that had anything to do with lore, I don't believe, if I'm remembering correctly. They didn't have any Daleks, they didn't have any Cybermen, they didn't have anything that tied to characters or elements that we'd seen in Doctor Who before. And that is a key part of this show. And yeah, take it and do it in your own way, certainly. But you have to find a way to mix those things in somewhere for it to feel like Doctor Who for a lot of people. And bring in new ones. I mean, the Weeping Angels were a more recent addition. I think the first Weeping Angels was with, it was with David Tennant. Great addition, obviously. A great villain for the Doctor to come up against multiple times. But yeah, I wonder if this season will make its way around to that, or if they're going to stay away from any of the established Doctor Who lore for this entire season. And if they do, how will that work? Like, how will that be received? How will those episodes feel? I will say that I think Ncuti Gatwa is off to a stronger start as the Doctor than Jodie Whittaker was. But again, not that I attribute that to Jodie Whittaker herself. The writing on some of the early episodes, and even through most of the first season, I feel like about halfway through the first season, they started kind of hitting their stride. But I do feel like this one is off to a stronger start. So I'm very anxious to see where it goes. I enjoyed this episode. We have a lot of foreshadowing going toward all kinds of things coming up. So I'm anxious to jump into the next one. It is getting very late as I am recording this. So I am debating whether I'm going for 3 tonight. I've recorded 2 episodes tonight. We will see. As far as the rating for episode 2 of season 1 of the new era of Doctor Who, The Devil's Chord, guest starring Jinkx Monsoon, I'm going to go ahead and give this one also 4 stars for different reasons. I wouldn't say it's my favorite episode of Doctor Who ever, but I'd be hard-pressed to tell you what was wrong with it or what I wouldn't have liked about it. I think it was a good, solid episode, another solid entry into this season. I'm really anxious to see what's coming next, what's coming down the road here. But thank you for watching. Thank you for being here through all of this. Please consider, if you would, if you dare, like and subscribe. Hit the bell so you see when I put up more. So you see when I put up more videos and when I can speak. You know, if that's ever a thing. Really having a lot of fun with this. Really looking forward to getting to the other episodes. I hope you'll come along with me. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.